I'm Miles, joined by Knots. How you doing, Knots?
Hello, doing excellent. I'm interested to see because these teams are very closely seeded. It's 22nd and 23rd respectively, but pretty large gaps on some of the scores last week, partially due to like some fourth man syndrome on the part of Ice-T JOKOWI. Like the SWAGLORDS overall looked a good bit better last week, but I don't know. Given coming out of qualifiers of the very similar seeding, might have hope for some competitive here. I do kind of favor the Canadians though.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, this Canadian roster is a little bit more seasoned in some of these international tournaments, but obviously this Ice-T JOKOWI team, if they're seated right next to them, going to be expecting them to put up a good fight at the very least. Not entirely sure what the pick strategy for these teams are going into each other. We've already gotten into the first map, Hard Rock 1, picked by Ice-T JOKOWI, and they are winning it by 270k so far into the last quarter of the map, so looking like a good first pick from them.
I guess HR a strength of theirs. There's kind of a lot of unknowns for me on this Indonesian roster. To be frank, there's some new faces.
One thing I'd like
to suss out the strengths and everything, you know.
One thing I'd like to point out though is that there are some name changes on this team, notably Nazuna Amemiya, who is I believe Mindfrost ID.
Oh
He's
yeah.
a player. Yeah, that guy, I believe last 3WC he really popped off.
Yeah, no, I think that new guy, Mindfrost ID, and Fuma, like that half of the team, I'm quite familiar with. It's really the other half, and how you fill out rosters that makes it a bit questionable. Like I don't really know where they actually want to be going, and looking at that core of people I know, I feel like maybe lean more towards hidden, at least personally. So I'm a bit surprised to see this, but I mean a solid win on a first pick here.
Yeah, I was going to mention in pick strategy that traditionally these Indonesian rosters are very good at aim and consistency, so them winning a Hard Rock 1 does not surprise me one bit. So yeah, because we got into this match late, we did not get to see the ban phase. It looks like SWAGLORDS banned out DT3 and Ice-T JOKOWI banned out the Hidden 2. Honestly,
Wait, no, DT3 is. Oh god, I just looked
this
at the
is so
poll just
sad.
earlier. DT3 is so epic, dude. What the
Yeah,
hell?
that map is so awesome.
It's so good, man. Okay, okay, I guess.
This is so sad. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see SWAGLORDS opt into speed early on into this match because Ice-T JOKOWI did not ban out any speed. SWAGLORDS, I think, superior on that skill set, maybe gonna opt to pick into it. But it's gonna be the Hidden 1. After losing one aim map, you decide to pick another, except this is definitely the
I mean,
different
this is a
angle of
bit.
aim. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very flow aim heavy. YF Usomi inspired for those in the know on that front. It's I don't know. It's doing a lot of flowy stuff in pretty organized, structured fashion. In you know, very visually distinct, recognizable, and
hmm
I think it's very, very solidly consistent in difficulty. Not the regular spike type of map, as is the impression I got, but.
And you know, I think you could almost call this alti as well in some spaces.
Yeah, yep.
So you've got
I'd agree.
a couple different skill sets that this map taps into. I think this one is going to be a lot more competitive though for Ice-T JOKOWI because you mentioned earlier that that core 3 of players really can do well on the hidden.
Yeah,
So
something
this
I'm
one,
excited to see. It might be like the concern though for the fourth. That was the thing last week where I mean there were more than one D rank, even I believe outside of DT for a fourth player on Ice-T JOKOWI. So it's a bit hoping, you know, we're not gonna have to see something like that here. Hopefully, gonna have that fourth player who can actually cover properly.
So it looks like we're into it. We've got Genderbender, Vesprit, Woofle, and Jamara against that noob guy. Nazuna, Zenoites, and Fuma on the side of Ice JOKOWI. They can get an early breakpoint on this. That would be really good up against a team that I think is a little bit favored against them, but we're going to see an early drop come in from Zenoites and Woofle, though. So it's not going to mean too much for the side of Ice JOKOWI. Jamara finds a break. So now, but Fuma trades it, and Nazuna as well, so it's only that noob guy in the 200 combo from Zenoites on the side of Ice JOKOWI. SWAGLORDS still with 2 FCs and the reestablished combo from Woofle, but that one is gone now too. Advantage still slightly in favor of SWAGLORDS. The accuracy gonna be very much in favor of them, especially because Zenoites is having so much trouble. You mentioned it, the 4th player syndrome on this Ice JOKOWI roster. Gonna be rearing its ugly head on this map.
I didn't want to see it happen, but...
Vesper dropping, though. Oh, but that noob guy dropping the full combo, so Genderbender now stands alone with the big combo in the lobby. Only Fuma with an attempt to respond at a 440 reverse choke, but Genderbender is still holding on to the FC. There's really nothing that Ice JOKOWI can do, especially when you have a player like Zenoites just absolutely tanking the score. It's not what you want to see.
Oh, unfortunate break from Genderbender. It's a very good combo though. Easily beating out anyone else in the lobby.
Now the question is there enough map left for Fuma to take it back on his own? I think he needs some more breaks from SWAGLORDS. He needs Vesprit, Jamara, and Woofle to drop the combo. There goes Jamara, but still got a quarter of the map left. 270k score of lead. I don't think it's really possible for Fuma.
Yeah, no, Fuma needs support. And
the fast slider! What?
That is terrible.
No.
I mean, I do think it was impossible. Fuma needed some support. He needed some help. Some more combos, some more breaks on the other side. Probably wasn't happening either way, but I don't know. It's a bit of an undignified way to go out. It's not how you want it to happen.
Yeah, I think maybe if you had a 4th player on Ice JOKOWI who's maybe a little bit closer to the average score on this, then it might have been doable. But unfortunately for them, it's just all struggles for Zenoites, and everyone is breaking. It's a foregone conclusion at this point. SWAGLORDS gonna be taking their first pick as well. So the Hidden One Gambit working out for them. Strong scores coming out from Vesprit and Genderbender. Vesprit getting most of his combo in the end, actually overtaking Genderbender by nearly 100,000 in score. Very good stuff from him. But now, how does Ice JOKOWI respond to that? Pick goes back into their ballpark. Could see them opt into another Hard Rock, I think.
Possibly. I think that's the inclination, but I just think that HR2 is far too different. I think that... I mean, what you really want is you want more jumps, you want more consistency, and the problem with that is that also is not really available, I think. There is the Nomad 1, but it's kind of... I mean, it's pretty high BPM, it's got a decent amount of bursts. It's not... maybe not exactly what they want, but I do feel not terrible about a Nomad 1 from them. I've maybe leaning more towards that than an HR2, even though I guess HR2 could work out as well. Just a little worried about like the style of that map for them. You know, flowy LMT. I don't know if they're up to the task, especially with maybe the 4th man syndrome is going to be a theme, and if it is, it's the kind of map that will really gate like the lower ranked players, the ones with less tournament experience. So A little bit
Yeah,
concerned about that. Okay, they
probably
do go
like that
for it.
no mod one, but it is the Hard Rock too. That's
I respect
yeah.
it. I respect it. I do still respect it. I'm just a little bit worried about the Fourth Man Syndrome hitting harder than you ideally would like it to. Whereas on a no mod one, even this no mod one might not be quite as bad as long as you have like a modicum of speed and ability to handle some bursts on the 230 or whatever it was for the no mod one.
Yeah, but another thing, I think this map is a lot more niche. I think Swaglords may also have some trouble on their third or fourth player on this one, which is really going to
Oh
leave
yeah.
it to the stronger players on both rosters to take it home for their team. So if you have a couple good scores on the sheet for Ice-T JOKOWI, you could definitely see the logic in this pick.
I guess it's also just that I don't feel like I see big HR names on IC JOKOWI, which is a bit concerning also picking into this. But yeah, it should still be relatively evenly matched. They should still be able to contest to some point.
I'd hope so. It's their own pick.
Yeah. It's just it didn't really work out very well in especially in one of the matches last week where it was a real struggle.
Mhm. So, rosters in, Too Slow, Vesprit, Woofle, Vinopoly, That Noob Guy, Nazuna, Adios, and Fuma. Who will be the conqueror of the Hard Rock Flow Aim? My money would be on Vinopoly or Woofle.
I'm happy to see LMT back from the dead to make this map. It's pretty awesome.
Definitely. As my Discord stream freezes. Okay, Nazuna finding another one to trade it though, so gonna be fine right now for Swaglords. The accuracy very much in the favor of Swaglords right now. It's gonna be giving them an early lead of 50k, but with all the breaks and with the combos, it's actually staying even. Everybody is struggling. There is no combo to be had anywhere in the lobby. I think the highest one I saw before that break was about 115 on Vinopoly, and it looks like it is. The struggle is real on the HR Flow Aim. Precision as well, though. Maybe the precision tripping the players up?
I mean, it exacerbates the difficult elements of the map. It makes it so much worse. Like
Yeah.
the aim control flow aim is so much harder with the precision element added to it. But one thing I'm a little bit surprised to see is it's not even necessarily a four-man syndrome type of deal for IC JOKOWI here. They're kind of just losing. It's
Oh, Vinopoly. Vinopoly and Vesprit actually finding drops in the slow part opens the door a little bit for IC JOKOWI, especially as Too Slow drops as well.
okay.
Oh, but Nazuna and Fuma find the drops as well, and 100k score lead for Swaglords is gonna look pretty safe. You've got two combos on Ice-T though to try and bring it back. It is going down very quickly. All the combos are gone. That Noob Guy, can he do it?
Is it possible?
Can he do it?
Oh my god!
What?
It actually was so close there for a second. I think that Noob Guy maybe could have done it.
He would have if he held combo
God.
for just like 20, not even 20 seconds longer, for 5 seconds longer.
Yeah, I think literally he was seconds away. Seconds away from securing it.
He had the top score in the lobby, but just not enough. Average score slightly higher on the side of Swaglords, going to be enough to drag him over the finish line on that one and take an early break point.
Yeah, it did end up being close. So, evidently not the worst pick in the world. Still didn't love it. And I guess kind of... I think it's just the kind of team where you want to avoid the gimmicky stuff as much as you possibly can, even though I think this pool it's not going to give you as many outs as a truly conventional one typically would. But, you know, maybe a DT1 as well is one I didn't consider earlier. It might be something for them later on. But now, SWAGLORDS to pick, and coming off the hidden one, if you wanted to keep going along the theme of flow aim, I think Nomad 3 might be something.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a pretty good pick for SWAGLords, but it's going to be the Fremont 2, CS5, AR8, awkward aim that we saw, I believe, Rampax and Nathan Ram just absolutely destroy in the last match.
Yeah, just pretty conventional anti-mod. I think it's pretty much exact. It is what it says on the box. You know, it's you know, linear aim element, but just the generic anti-mod pick. Not really much to say about this as a pick from SWAGLords. I guess just picking something, you know, familiar and comfortable.
Yeah, in international tournaments, these Canadian rosters really like their AR8 CS5 maps. That's something I've noticed throughout the years, is that they just have something for this kind of slot, and it makes total sense that they would pick it here. But yeah, I want to piggyback off of a point you made earlier about just the general, like, unconventionalness of this map pool. I heard Doomsday saying spicy over and over again on many, many different maps in the last match. And there's just... I think it just kind of signifies a general trend towards being more different, creative, whatever word you want to use, in map pooling. And I think it's really great to see Corsace doing this as well with their customs.
Yeah, it's just trying to get away from one slot is the same thing every single time, where I think you still have like a general space in which a slot exists. Like it can be, but instead of being exactly only one thing, it's like a range of things, which makes things a bit more interesting.
There's Hard Rock. There's a lot of Hard Rock. There is a full modded roster for Ice-T JOKOWI and an overmod Hard Rock on SWAGLords. The only no mod in the lobby is Vesprit. Everyone else, other than the Hiddens, opting into Hard Rock. Surprised to see Jamara taking the Hidden for SWAGLords and not Vesprit. I guess you want Vesprit on the no mod. Seeing some early breaks across the board from both teams. Right now, early lead going to be very slightly in favor of SWAGLords. I think mostly off of the accuracy. You have SS still alive on Vesprit. And we're seeing some repeated breaks, honestly, once again, across the board. That Noob Guy and Nazuna finding some drops. The biggest combos in the lobby still alive are Fuma and Vinopoly. Fuma on the Hidden holding the full combo. That is definitely what you want to see. I think Hidden is definitely the hardest mod on this map. He finds the drop. Vinopoly now, lobby in his hands. Lobby is his oyster. 360 combo on the Hard Rock, gonna be carrying it forward for SWAGLords, but the lead isn't out yet, only 20k. If Vinopoly does find the drop, then Ice-T JOKOWI should be able to come back into this. But he's made it to the slow part, so Vinopoly gonna be able to compound his score very quickly. But it's actually going back in favor of Ice-T JOKOWI. The rest of SWAGLords is really struggling on this too slow, finding a drop in the slow part. Actually going to send it right back over in favor of Ice-T JOKOWI, despite the full combo still alive from Vinopoly. And Jamar breaking on the slow part as well. That is not what you want to see from SWAGLords on this pick. Ice-T JOKOWI going to start running away with it since the rest of their team has started to build their combos back up.
This feels uncharacteristic from SWAGLords. I'm not sure what is going on with the other players on Team SWAGLords here. Vinopoly is just on their own right now. It does actually break towards the end as well. I mean, it was already doomed. with the full team performance of IC JOKOWI.
Adyaz bringing out a pretty good score on this one. About 650k from him. Stuff you want to see. One of the lower ranked, less experienced tourney players on IC JOKOWI putting up the top score on that roster. That is exactly how you win that pick for them. And now early breakpoint goes back to IC JOKOWI. Now back even at 2 apiece. But yeah, for SWAGLORDS on this one, I think I was just a little bit suspect of their roster because Jamara,
Yeah.
as good as Jamara is, that guy does not really play AR8 hidden. And Too Slow, finding the ship misses just all across the map, just not really a way to win a pick.
Yeah. Like, I feel like on paper that pick should still make sense. I imagine they had the hidden score pinned for something a bit higher than below 300k. You know, like it's not
Yeah.
supposed to go that way.
But we're about to hit the second ban phase. Not exactly sure what these teams will opt into in terms of bans. I think IC JOKOWI definitely will ban out another one of the gimmickier maps in the pool. Maybe like that Nomad 3 or that Nomad 5. But for SWAGLORDS, not entirely sure. Maybe they ban out one of those aim picks, like a Nomad 1.
Yeah, or maybe a DT one. It depends on kind of how confident they feel on those. I do think you want to and anything conventional. Just try to get rid of it. Try to corner IC JOKOWI. Don't leave them any options.
Force them into maps where you aren't going to be able to have a full comfy team, but it's actually going to be a Nomad 5 ban from SWAGLORDS. That is not exactly what I was expecting, but I guess we don't see their team sheet.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna ban like it is slider tech, but it is very, very honed in on the sliders specifically, which kind of makes it an aim map in a lot of ways. So, in a sense, I guess I get it. It might be accessible. Like if you just clear the bar of being able to read the sliders at all, you should be able to put together some combo. I don't. I think that IC JOKOWI would probably struggle to have a fourth player on it, so I don't think it's really that big of a concern. But I guess it might just be you got to ban a map, so we don't want to play this one. You know, it's doesn't have to be anything more complicated than that, really.
Yeah. It's going to be a speed ban coming out from IC JOKOWI, free mod 1. But yeah, I like to say that a lot of the times with bans, sometimes teams just don't like a map. And
Yeah,
if you don't understand a team's bans, I feel like at least half of the time you could boil it down to I think the team just doesn't like the map. And that's completely fair.
yeah. Free mod one ban from IC JOKOWI, one of the harder maps in the pool. I think it's deceptively hard. I think it doesn't look as bad in the editor as it actually plays because doing what the map does at the BPM it does is pretty challenging, and I think kind of pushes skill cap a bit, which might explain the ban from Ice-T, as I do believe the Canadian roster has a bit of a higher skill cap overall. Um, just as a full team, you know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, here comes Nomad 1, at long last, picked by IC JOKOWI. I think the follow-up pick to Hard Rock one that we expected, but not the
Yeah,
one we got. Here it comes.
yeah, a bit higher BPM. I can understand maybe some hesitance to pick into this. I could imagine having some problems putting together a roster you're perfectly satisfied with on it, unlike what it might be typically for a Nomad 1, but it still just remains the best option for them, I think. Even if it is a bit off kilter.
I agree with that.
But yeah, SWAGLORDS I think will obviously also do pretty well on this, and should be pretty evenly matched. Gonna need to see. I mean, Ice-T, JOKOWI. I think they really need a big performance on a player. They need you know, that noob guy almost doing it on the HR2.
And I'm going to be looking at that noob guy once again, or Nazuna, to put up a big performance from them. Meanwhile, for SWAGLORDS, I'm not really looking at a specific Nomad 1 player for them. Maybe Vinopoly or Too Slow perform really well on this, but yeah. Into the lobby now. Too Slow, Genderbender, Jamara, Vinopoly. It's that noob guy, Nazuna, Adyaz, and Fuma. Fuma not typically a Nomad 1 player from my knowledge, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, Fuma's very well-rounded. He'll do fine.
Jamara to find the first drop, but it's too early into the map for that to really matter too much. It's on the longer side, I believe somewhere between 3 and 4 minutes. Off the top of my dome, yep, 4:04. Oh, but 3 breaks on that aim pattern there. Genderbender, Vinopoly, and Adyaz all being claimed. But that's going to be a combo advantage towards Ice-T JOKOWI. Only 3 FCs on their board left, with only Too Slow to reply on SWAGLORDS. And he's gone as well. Now this is looking like an increasingly successful pick for Ice-T JOKOWI. There is no combo on the side of SWAGLORDS, struggling to put anything together on this Nomad 1 as they continue to break repeatedly. And there's just still 3 full combos on the side of Ice-T JOKOWI. They are already 200k in the lead that quickly on Nomad. There is no multipliers making the lead shoot up this fast. It is just pure domination so far on this pick.
Okay, this pick has turned out to look way better than I expected it to. I don't know if SWAGLORDS are just flopping or not, but I feel like when it's this level of a difference, it starts to be harder and harder to make that argument.
Yeah, I mean, finding one unlucky miss is one thing, but when you just find all of those in the same...
Oh dear.
And it looks like we're back. We apologize for any technical difficulties. We're trying to get the match back on screen as quickly as possible. Yeah, if anything, I could say we're lucky that this happened on a pick that looked so dominant in favor of Ice-T JOKOWI.
I think we know who won. So
yeah,
it's not a tiebreaker, you know, with like 1k score difference.
Right before the screen went black, I saw like 400k in favor of Ice-T JOKOWI, and it looks like the map has already ended. It was a win for Ice-T JOKOWI, surprising absolutely nobody. Now, one thing I'm surprised about so far in this match is neither team opting to pick into speed. Being a skill set that's usually so divided between one team or another in a matchup where one team typically abuses it and one team typically bans it, neither team really opting into anything regarding speed apart from a free mod 1 ban for Ice-T JOKOWI. Gonna see if SWAGLORDS takes that as their sign to maybe go into picking the remaining speed maps in DT2.
Yeah, I'd like that actually. I think it's a pretty solid option for them to go into. At least so I'd expect. They do have, I feel, maybe some more options than Ice-T JOKOWI do though, so a bit more open space. They don't necessarily have to go for that.
And there it is, the DT2 pick out of SWAGLORDS. Got a nice classic Silver Forest song. I believe this is a Nissan custom.
Yes, Nissan Lucent collab, if I remember correctly.
Okay, apparently this is a huge collab, actually. The document says Deca, Kawari, Nissan, Iljaz, Lucent. That
No,
is
no,
a
no, no.
lot of
That's
mappers.
that is the previous round's DT2, I believe.
Oh, okay. I am
Yeah,
trolling.
yeah.
Somehow two of the same mappers were on that, and I'm like, that seems right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, my apologies, but yeah, this map tries to emulate the old style Toho map that you kind of used to see.
Yeah, it's I mean it's kind of Nissan Lucent. I think both of those mappers do a lot of old map but new, you know. So which they're very good at, like very clean modern interpretation of old ideas.
Not many mappers do it like they do on this type of style. Now, yeah, once again, the concern for Icy JOKOWI on this, I think, once again, is going back to that fourth player syndrome. You see Zenoids in the lobby down at 93 early on. That's not really what you want to see from them. But the breaks are being traded back on the side of SWAGLORDS. Too Slow did find a drop, but looks like overall comfort level swings a little bit in favor of SWAGLORDS at the beginning of this one. Although Woofle and Jamara both find drops on absolute air there after that break. But Nazuna trades a break, and Vesper does as well. It's a four-way reset for SWAGLORDS on what I think is a slower part on this map. And it's Fuma, the 480 combo, the only combo in the lobby. The breaks from the other members of Icy JOKOWI delay the eventual take of this map, but Fuma, still holding the combo, is going to be able to hold the lobby in his own hands now. If he can hold on for a little bit longer, he should be able to take the lead even further in favor of Icy JOKOWI. But he finds the drop on that linear aim pattern. Now Nazuna, 350 combo, is going to be the one to take that roll from him. Vesper and Woofle trying their best with around 300 combo between them to try and take this back in favor of SWAGLORDS, but as long as Nazuna holds and Zenoids with the 300 combo as well, they're going to be able to hold on to this lead and perhaps take a break point on this DT2. And there goes Vesper and Woofle as well. All combo is gone from SWAGLORDS. Icy JOKOWI might just be making me eat my own words here. Zenoids and Nazuna holding on to combos, they break, but Nazuna still holds, so it's gonna look like a break point for Icy JOKOWI here, unless Nazuna breaks right this second. And oh my god, he did. Oh my god, he did. Too Slow now with 350 combo? No longer, actually. I should just stop speaking because nobody can hold a combo on this map. And Icy JOKOWI gonna look to take it to the ending on this one. The breakpoint, 155k score lead, and there's not really a combo on SWAGLORDS to try and contest it.
Yeah, this one score making all the difference. Nazuna Amamiya.
Once again, the standout performers on Icy JOKOWI showing up to play. Nazuna with around 600k. It's going to be pretty much, I think, the difference there. That top score makes up that 129k score lead. And now, SWAGLORDS, suddenly they're on the ropes here. Icy JOKOWI pick is now theirs. They have the opportunity to go up 5-2 here in what I believe would be a pretty big upset. But now I think the concern comes up about the pick options for Icy JOKOWI. As we mentioned earlier, very strong aim team. They've won that Nomad 1 and the Hard Rock 1. But where do they go from here? I think we mentioned DT1 still left, which it is. Do you think they just go for that?
Yeah. I think, especially after seeing some success on a DT pick, even if it's rather different, I think DT1 is just really the way to go here.
Yeah, I mean, you've won aim, you've won speed. Now it's time
Yeah.
to take the two of them combined and win that pick next.
And, the DT1 is one of those, a bit of reprieve from the unconventional nature of the pool broadly for, players that are more about the conventional skill sets. So, I mean, just on every front, really, I feel like everything points towards picking DT1. But it's going to be No Mod 4. Never mind. What do I know, right?
I feel
It's
like that could be a reaction to that No Mod 5 ban, perhaps.
yeah, I could see that. I mean, this much more like cut focused. It has a lot more going on, whereas the No Mod 5 is very honed in on sliders. But I kind of imagine it to be a response to the ban. In that sense, not the worst idea, I suppose, but I don't know. You're already kind of relying on on one of your top players on the team to perform, to go big, and I feel like on something like this, maybe you're relying even more heavily on that than something like DT1.
Yeah, but in the same vein, I think they probably recognize that Swaglords is not really having their best match and that they
Hmm.
don't really have a big player that can match any of the big players on Icy JOKOWI right now, so maybe going for something like this. Sure, it could be a bit of a toss up, but I still think this is going to be a pretty good pick for them. With the current state of affairs in this matchup, I don't know if Swaglords really has it right now, if you get what I'm saying. I think they need to maybe wake up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Got a Drop and Cubby collab for this No Mod 4. If you haven't noticed yet, this is a tech map.
Yeah. Peck and cut stream, finger control. It's kind of the other elements of Peck to the slider only of No Mod 5. Kind of balancing that out.
Find lots of breaks actually on the side of Icy JOKOWI from the start. None of them holding on to any combo, while it's Vinopoly to hold on through that first section for the side of Swaglords, and that lead is shooting up very, very quickly in their favor. Vine finally drops, but 160k lead on No Mod is a lot harder to take back than you'd think, especially when the accuracies are this low. We're going to need to see combos from Icy JOKOWI spring up and now. And that noob guy and Nazuna and Fuma appear to be up to the task, all bringing back their combos quite well. As the breaks continue to come in for Swaglords, it's Genderbender holding onto the combo for them, but with 3 combos live on Icy JOKOWI, if they can hold on a little bit longer into the last quarter of the map, they're going to be able to eventually take it back over. But Fuma finds a drop in this low part.
What?
No.
Wait, Vinopoly goes as well. This is still favoring Icy JOKOWI.
Oh, but the chain misses continue for Zenoids, and that, once again, gonna be the concern for Icy JOKOWI. Even though the combos exist on that noob guy and Nazuna, they needed Zenoids to do a little bit better on this pick. And now going into the ending, it's gonna look to be Swaglords taking the breakpoint back off of some strong performances from basically everyone on their roster. I believe getting between 400 and 500k, which is just all around a very good average team score, and it's going to be that first concern once again, the 4th player syndrome for Icy JOKOWI as Zenoids leave the lobby.
I mean, I do feel like it's also just like if Fuma didn't miss there, it's just that one break from Fuma totally killed them. I think the 4th man syndrome is just something they kind of have to live with on on so many of the maps, especially from here on out. You just need that top 3 of the roster to put up better performances. Fuma almost certainly underperforming a little bit. A very, very unfortunate break.
Yeah, you hate to see it. But hey, that just brings us an inch closer to the tiebreaker. Although we've still got many maps to go. I believe score now is, yeah, 4-3 in favor of IC JOKOWI. Now SWAGLORDS pick, if they win that, then we're tied at 4 apiece. But yeah, now I think if I'm SWAGLORDS, I'm even more confused on what to pick because you tried speed and you didn't win it.
Yeah. I mean, there's still options. I feel like you could totally try a Nomad 3. Or maybe it's getting to a point where if you picking harder maps is probably a bad idea even because IC JOKOWI is so reliant on like the upper half of the team to perform very well, and then kind of balance out the fact that they have that lower performance on the fourth player. Probably want to pick something a bit more broad-based, kind of you need a full team on. And honestly, I think the Nomad 2 is a pretty damn good pick.
I really like
For
this
that.
Nomad 2.
Yeah, this is actually a really good pick for SWAGLORDS, I would imagine.
Some of their players who might not necessarily be speed players are really strong Nomad 2 players, looking at players like Woofle and Genderbender to be really strong on this map. For IC JOKOWI, I'm not really seeing too much Nomad 2 specialty on their team, so I think SWAGLORDS, similarly to that Nomad 4, they're going to do well based on a very high average team score for them, even if the strong players of IC JOKOWI do show up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't even considering this, honestly, as a pick, but I do think this is the right way to go. And I don't know, a bit of a cool thing with this Nomad 2. It's in the vein of like the Mazarin LMT, Flow Amy Nomad 2s, but toned down, and it's executed on pretty well. I don't think I've seen something quite like it before. So pretty cool custom for the Nomad 2 this round.
Now, yeah, this roster from SWAGLORDS just looks so scary on this type of Nomad 2. They're all such good stream players, and I'm going to be expecting them to do so well on this. You see a few early drops, but this map is long enough for those to honestly not really matter. Everyone is going to have to take a little bit of time to adjust to this map. Obviously, transition from the last pick to one of these stamina-intensive Nomad 2s. Sometimes it takes a few seconds to get yourself acquainted to it. But if the breaks do continue for maybe 20 seconds after this, then I'd start to be concerned.
I'll say this is also a decent option for like the consistency element, since it's a bit on the longer end of things. It's got like a light aim element in some of the jumps and the transitions between the bursts and streams, so even on that level, kind of do like it for SWAGLORDS.
And we can already see out of the first quarter, just the general comfort on the side of SWAGLORDS is going to be higher than IC JOKOWI so far in this map. Only big combos are alive on that noob guy and Nazuna, the two big players who we've been mentioning this whole match, are trying their best on this, but when the four-man combo is alive for SWAGLORDS, you can't really do it with just the two of them, especially as Nazuna finds that drop. Now only that noob guy on the combo for IC JOKOWI. Through those awkward streams, most players actually getting through that awkward stream. Yeah, Jamara holding on to the biggest combo in the lobby with almost 1100, followed closely behind by Genderbender. Who promptly drops. That's one of the combos down for SWAGLORDS. IC JOKOWI now, Fuma is the one to back up that noob guy, who is no longer standing all alone, but when the lead is 400k, you need a lot more, and there goes the biggest combo for IC JOKOWI now. SWAGLORDS gonna look to take this one comfortably into the ending. Never mind, that is every big combo gone. It's 400k lead for SWAGLORDS. I don't know if Fuma can do this all alone unless...
Yeah, Fuma needs to go... Okay, well, never mind. Yeah,
well...
Fuma needed to go big and then get some help, too. Needed quite a bit. I think it might already be over. We're looking at like a fourth of the map left. I mean, basically just no combo, really. You do have some on Nazuna and Zenoites, but I don't think it's nearly enough. Like, even 400, 600, it doesn't really matter that much on a map with this many objects. Gonna need some bigger combos than that.
We saw the lead actually go from 400 to around 300k in only like 10 seconds when Fuma had combo, so I think that if he did manage to hold on, especially with that 900 combo from Nazuna, they actually would have maybe gotten closer to taking this at the end, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, the combos from Woofle and Genderbender came back, so I think this is overall a very good pick for SWAGLORDS, even though it did get scary at the end.
Yeah, and the very just well-rounded team performance from SWAGLORDS here. All of them on the 400k. And I mean, it really just tells me that this really was the pick. I think this was a great pick. And really what they want is maps that play out like this, where the all-around team performance is going to win out. So even if, you know, you might like gimmicks and everything, there's also just the element of like how difficult is the map, how much would you have to rely on like a top score, and you know, how volatile a pick is, and etc. etc. Gonna have to think a little bit about what they could go for next off of that pick. But Ice-T JOKOWI now, and I mean, I still want to see the DT1, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be the Nomad 3. I think they must really be banking on carry performances at this point in their picks.
Yeah, I mean, at this phase in the match, we've seen all of the comfortable picks come and go. So at this point, you're just throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. And for Ice-T JOKOWI, it looks like it's going to be the Nomad 3.
Yeah, and you kind of know it's going to be a little bit crazy just off the artist alone, the band. TK from Ling, a bit wacky. Melwoin map for first time in a while. Pretty cool mapper. I think this is actually one of his best maps. Even it's pretty sick. Aim control and flow focused. It's very intense. Very intense. And challenging. So I think, I mean, you could have hopes for Ice-T JOKOWI to look for one of those carry performances. Like, I guess I see, you know, some kind of idea behind the pick here.
And, you know, Ice-T JOKOWI, they've been fairly successful on aim control maps so far in this match. I believe the two most aim control focused maps in Hard Rock 2 and Nomad 4 were split. So definitely something that the chance is there on this map.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, aren't there only 2 maps left in the pool? Like, isn't it this and DT1 and every single map otherwise is gone?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so that means at the end of the day, it didn't matter which one they picked because there's only 2 remaining. But
wait,
yeah,
was hidden to his band, right?
Yeah, hidden to his band.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I love it when that happens, when the whole pool gets whittled all the way down and you're forced to play the only 2 remaining maps. And I guess IC JOKOWI wanted to play this one first, whether they think they can win it or not, but so far they are looking decent on this, only 35k behind SWAGLORDS on this one, off of a pretty good start from Vinopoly and Genderbender, both down at 95 but still holding the combos. But the breaks on IC JOKOWI are going to start to hurt very quickly on this. The only combo left on their side is Adyaz, who's all the way down at 93%, which is not what you want to see on your biggest combo, because that's not going to be accruing score very quickly. But some chain misses come out from Woofle, and the break comes in for Adyaz. That's the biggest combo down. Now Nazuna and that noob guy to try to pick up the pieces for IC JOKOWI, but SWAGLORDS just looking so strong on this so far, 180k score of lead. Vesper and Genderbender beating down any effort that IC JOKOWI is trying to put up to take this pick back in their favor. And there goes all the combos from IC JOKOWI. It's looking like a disaster on this final pick for IC JOKOWI. 260k score lead and climbing. Genderbender finally breaks, but Vinopoly, just the only combo in the lobby. One of the strong players from SWAGLORDS, just showing up when his team needs him most, getting that combo when he needs it. Yeah, once again, we're seeing that scenario that has just favored SWAGLORDS so many times in the match, where I feel like on all of their picks, they have never had a real standout performer. Like, it always happens when, like, their whole team score is between, like, 100k of each other. Like, they are unprecedentedly well-rounded on their roster.
They do it together or they don't do it at all. That's, everyone's equal. Everyone's equal on Team SWAGLORDS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now SWAGLORDS, I think we can guess what their final pick is going to be, because I think there's only one map left in this freaking map pool. We're going double time 1.
I guess, as I've increasingly seen like the pattern of just the all-round performance from SWAGLORDS and the individual carry performance on Ice-T, makes me wonder if maybe this isn't actually good for SWAGLORDS. I don't know. It really depends on the consistency. This does feel like a map where you need a higher average than what we've been seeing in general on this pool so far. I think you kind of want to hit, a 500, 600k mark, hopefully. Maybe not down in the 350, 400ks.
I genuinely have no idea what to expect from either of these teams, mostly from the fact that neither of them have picked it at this point in the match.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is the last map that's in a similar vein as the Nomad one and the Hard Rock one, which IC JOKOWI won so dominantly. But at the same time, like, they didn't pick it, and SWAGLORDS, they lost the DT2 actually, so who knows? I mean, I guess this is just so last pick material. It isn't a last pick if you have no idea what it is. That's all I'm gonna say. Or I'm sorry, I meant it isn't a last pick if you know any idea what it's gonna be.
But as a map, it's a DT1 pretty much. It's in maybe a bit of an older style as a map. You know, vaguely Russian inspired from like 2015 era or so, roundabouts with a bit bigger spacing. So and you know, especially looking at the pool broadly, very accessible.
The pool notes say this is 2014, 2015 anime mapping. So that's the case. Going to be expecting a very high comfort level throughout the lobby, as we see. I think for the first time, not a single early break in the lobby in the first quarter. Jamara, though, going to find a break right at the 1 quarter mark, and he continues to struggle. But I think it's really going to matter once we get closer to that midsection. That's when your score starts to get capped, and there is the trade from Fuma. He was a high accuracy FC on the side of IC JOKOWI. That's not what you want to see from them. However, we've still got about half the map to go. Very slight lead in favor of IC JOKOWI. Any break will send it very heavily in favor of the other team. So it is do or die now, I think, for both of these rosters. This halfway mark is going to be so important. But nobody's dropping. It's 7k in favor of SWAGLORDS. Desperate finds a slider break. That's one of the full combos down for SWAGLORDS now. IC JOKOWI gonna be able to very quickly take that lead already in the blink of an eye. 100k in their favor. Vinopoly and Too Slow try to pick up the pieces. Fuma finds the drop, but it doesn't matter. Fuma already dropped. As long as the 3 full combos from Adyaz, Nazuna, and that noob guy hold on, they're going to be fine as Jamara trades the Fuma drop. Vinopoly finds a break, and it looks like we're going to tiebreaker, folks. So quickly, in the blink of an eye, that score just goes up so quickly on DT as there is a full combo reset for SWAGLORDS and IC JOKOWI. Wow. Just look at how fast that is. Every, 2 seconds, it goes up another 100k score lead. And would you believe me if I said that this was determined in the last 20 seconds when it was an 840k win for IC JOKOWI? Like, come on, the double time multiplier is so crazy on V2.
It really is, and this is a pretty insane team score. I really was lowballing when I was saying you kind of want to have higher averages. I mean, this is a very big difference in scoreline to what we saw on practically every single other map in the pool. Not just because of DT. I mean, just clearly people put together way higher combos, way higher accuracies across the board.
Well, it's time. Ryusei Aika tiebreaker. This map is very focused on mechanics and finger control, but it also has a little bit of a reading element. And so far, with the trend of that in this match, I genuinely don't know exactly who that would favor. I would say SWAGLORDS would be favored on the finger control, but IC JOKOWI favored more on the mechanics. And reading, just a non-factor. We haven't really seen much reading at all in this match since Fremont 2 is mostly an aim pick, so...
Yeah.
Unventured territory here.
Yeah, really, who knows? I just, I think it comes down to how... I mean, it's just kind of how much does it push skill cap? Is it going to be the well-rounded team of SWAGLORDS to perform on it, or, you know, the top-heavy IC JOKOWI?
And then at the same time...
how that plays out.
You have to ask the questions of how much the carry players are going to be able to carry on IC JOKOWI, and also...
Yeah.
If their fourth player syndrome is going to have to rear its ugly head again.
Yeah, actually, that might be a very big concern. I don't know. I do feel like it's looked not as bad, especially in this match, compared to last week. So, as much as it has been a factor in the match. So maybe not the worst. Also, it's like a no mod. And in spite of not just being, aim with some bursts and streams, TB, it's still not something to gatekeep quite so hard. Should have should have a decent fourth player for Ice-T, but still gonna be lower. You really do need the higher top scores.
And I definitely have to note that it's situations like this where I think the overall team experience of SWAGLORDS could come into play as being something that is very valuable, as we can see on their side. Woofle, Vinopoly, Genderbender, Vesprit, all very experienced tourney players. Well, it looks like it's gonna be Fuma, Nazuna, that noob guy, and Adyaz for the side of Ice-T JOKOWI, so honestly, these probably the prime rosters for both these teams. No player here that wouldn't expect with how the match has played out so far. So we already see some breaks in the beginning, but it's a tiebreaker. It's 5 minutes. I feel like every single map I just mentioned how the early breaks aren't going to matter. I should just say that it doesn't matter. Also worth noting, preference hidden on Genderbender for this.
Oh yeah. Might be alleviating the light reading element if it's overlaps and stuff.
And we're seeing struggles. Most of everyone in the lobby breaking. It's Woofle, Genderbender, and that noob guy to hold on through that stream section. Woofle finds a drop. That noob guy drops, and it's only the hidden left on Genderbender. But yeah, this map looks absolutely brutal. Everyone is finding the drop on basically every few hundred combo.
It's still kind of a slaughter. I think the highest combo in the lobby was still just the one from Genderbender.
But players are starting to pick up the pieces. Woofle at 470 along with Nazuna at around 440 with Adyaz. But the breaks are coming in. It's only 25k score lead for SWAGLORDS based off their early combos. But with the current trend of it, it's just going to look to stay even because when everyone breaks, the lead doesn't move at all.
Did you say it kind of popped off with that part, actually? That was crazy. He made the number sliders not cringe. Good job.
Yeah, into the slider stream section, we're seeing more drops across the lobby, but I think those drops actually will start to favor Ice-T JOKOWI. Nazuna and Noob Guy, the two strongest players on that team, can they do it once again? They've got a lot of work on their plates to break down this 36k lead, but they also need some help from SWAGLORDS, who have brought their combos back very well. That all-around team performance, we're seeing this match in a nutshell right now based on the combos in the lobby. Got the strong team performance on SWAGLORDS, the strong individual performances from Ice-T JOKOWI. Vesprit finds that first drop. Vinopoly brings it as well. Combo lead no longer going to be in favor of Ice-T JOKOWI. Nazuna finds the drop with Fuma. Now it's that noob guy alone against Genderbender and Woofle.
Okay, Genderbender. What the hell is going on?
No, this guy's popping off.
Mean,
okay.
That was a little bit insane for a second. I mean,
that noob guy had the opportunity there to take the lead back. He had the same combo as Genderbender roughly, but finding the break right afterwards, not gonna do any favors for Ice-T JOKOWI. It's 50k score lead, but they don't have any combo to try and fight it. It's Nazuna at 400, but that's gonna be way too slow for them to take it back. They need more breaks from SWAGLORDS, and soon. The train is very quickly leaving the station on this one. Unless they can bring their combos back on every single player and the breaks come in from SWAGLORDS. But as of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, as all of SWAGLORDS have brought their combos back. Nazuna breaks. That's the biggest combo in the lobby gone. It's looking increasingly good for SWAGLORDS now at this point in the tiebreaker. 76,000 points to the good.
Yeah, it's looking like, I'm pretty sure that the break on Nazuna has actually just fueled Ice-T JOKOWI's fate here, unfortunately. I think they just had to have that alongside some help as well, but unfortunately not to be the case. Even with that Noom guy holding for a while and Fuma recovering very nicely, just not enough.
Genderbender, after hitting that slider stream, what a performance from Genderbender.
Yeah, what a play from Genderbender. Very well played. Especially comboing through, like, I believe more than half of that big slider section. That was nuts.
Overall, it was such a back and forth match. Goes in favor of SWAGLORDS with that massive TB performance from Genderbender. So Canadian roster going to be moving on in the runoff bracket. GG well played. It was a great try from Ice-T JOKOWI. They brought this match to the brink. I believe they were at best only around 20k behind on this tiebreaker, but SWAGLORDS in the end gonna persevere. They had the combos at the best times, and they ultimately win this match.
Yeah, I believe Ice-T JOKOWI unfortunately eliminated with that. I believe the runoff is single elim, if I remember correctly, so they will just be out of the tournament now. But GG's. GG, well played.
I believe once again we've got a match that started at 16 UTC that we're probably going to transition to after this one. So I believe once again though we're going to be switching commentators. So I'd like to thank you all for watching this match and stay tuned for more action in the runoff bracket.
Yep. See you.